Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and I am here on the campus of the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg, my alma mater, go Bulls. And I'm just here. I was on campus today because I had to meet with my academic director to talk about my project for my master's program. I finished all my coursework, and so now I just have to submit a project in order to earn my degree. And so that's what I was here for, and I decided that I'd go ahead and do this quick video to kind of let you guys see the campus. It is a beautiful campus. It's on Tampa Bay. Remember in my last video where I was talking about the Skyway Bridge, I told you guys that Tampa Bay, the actual bay, not the area, it starts in Hillsborough County and it runs around St. Petersburg. Like, we are totally engulfed in water, and if there was ever like a major hurricane, St. Petersburg would be wiped off the map. We would be no more. And so it wraps all the way around the city, and then it flows into the Gulf of Mexico. So in this video, I'm actually going to be giving you guys an update on the ever-changing R. Kelly saga, and we're also going to talk about Wendy Williams, who is missing in action. And yes, guys, it is very windy out here, so my eyes are like all squinched up, and you can't look into my eyes. That's why, because the wind is like blowing. And if you know anything about photography and videography, you know that the sun has to be behind the camera. And so the sun is like zooming straight down into my face, and that's why I can barely see. And then it's also probably about 55 degrees out. I'm on the water, so it is kind of windy out here, but I'm going to go ahead and try and be quick about this video. So the latest on the R. Kelly saga. Before I get started, let me say this. I wish R. Kelly's lawyer would shut up, would just shut the hell up and go somewhere and sit down and stay out of the press. But I guess that's how the whole media junket works, is that you got to get out there, you got to give your client's side of the story, you know, so that the opposing side doesn't overtake the story and just continue to put their own narrative out. But just some of the stuff that he is saying is so stupid, and I think that it's going to do more harm than it is going to do good. And then also in my last video that I did on, I think it was Friday night, where I was talking about the video that my Facebook friend had put out, and I was talking about it. I realized after I went back and looked at that video, it was very choppy because I was trying to edit it down, and so that it wouldn't be like a 2-hour video. And so some of the stuff I said may not have made a lot of sense, but what I was basically trying to convey in that video was that I understood a lot of the things that she was saying, and that at 14, 15, 16 years old, there were a lot of things that I did, a lot of decisions that I made, none to the detriment of the fact that I would have run off with some rock star and been a part of his harem, or whatever they're trying to say is going on. And then I was also want to reiterate that I was very serious when I asked that question about people who are survivors of sexual assault, as to why they become so angry and upset with people when they're talking about these stories that's in the media. And to just reiterate that, you know, if I'm looking at a situation and saying this doesn't make sense to me, it doesn't mean that I'm invalidating anything that may have happened to you in your life. And so I asked the question at the beginning of that video. No one answered the question, but there are people that are upset about the video, and I'm just like, just answer the question, and maybe somebody wants to have a conversation about it. I would be willing to sit down with the survivor. And then I also wanted to add on, and this was something that I forgot to put in that video, because, you know, there are a lot of people saying that, you know, black women aren't believed and nobody supports black women. And I had meant to put this in that video, is that I know some, you know, a couple of people personally that have been raped, that have been sexually assaulted as little children, and they told and they were believed, and they went to trial, and the people that raped and assaulted them were sent to prison. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm not buying into that narrative that black girls aren't believed. In order for black girls to believe they have to go forth, they have to press charges, they have to be willing to go through the whole criminal justice process in order to get a conviction. But so often people run to lawyers and they want to sue and get money from the situation, opposed to wanting to see justice done and see these people get locked up. And then that kind of like perpetuates the cycle, because if you're more concerned about getting money, or you're more concerned about making someone look bad, then of course you're not going through the proper channels, and then that person is free to walk the streets and to go ahead and victimize somebody else. So that was something that I had left out of that video, that I do believe that black girls and black women are believed, but black girls and black women have to be willing to stand up and seek justice on their behalf. And that means that you do have to tell your story, you do have to be in a court of law, and that understand that that can be very stressful and trying, and that it can be embarrassing and humiliated. But we can't claim that people aren't being believed, that people aren't telling their stories to the right officials that can do something about it. And with that said, let's jump right into this whole update on R. Kelly, because if you guys, there's an airplane that's going ahead, and you might be able to see it in the video, but there is an airport called Albert Whitted Airport that is about a half-mile away in that direction. I don't know if you guys saw the airplane or not that was headed that way. Okay, so what happened today was Gloria Allred. We all know who Gloria Allred is. She is the attorney that is always in these high-profile cases that seem to have to do with sexual assault, and she represented many of the women in the Bill Cosby case. Not sure if Gloria Allred has ever won a case or tried a case. She's always in the media representing these people, but I don't think we ever see her go to trial. I think she's one of those lawyers that's hoping that if she shames the person enough, that they will settle out of court, and then she doesn't have to go to court. She doesn't have to put forth evidence to prove that what she's saying is true, or what her clients were saying actually happened. So she held a press conference today with a young lady by the name of Faith Rogers, and they said she was on the docuseries, but I don't really remember her on the docuseries. But I think by the time we got to some of them episodes, I had them really tuned out, because the stories were just so crazy, and that whole docuseries was very exhausting. So she was one of the people, and she's alleging that when she was 21 years old, that she was in this relationship with R. Kelly, that, you know, he was manipulating her, that he, you know, had her under a spell. And so evidently now that she's filed a lawsuit against him, she is claiming that he has, remember last week they were saying that R. Kelly was going to put up this website to dispute all the allegations that were made on the docuseries, and then it started out with a Facebook page, and somebody had purchased the domain name, but then the Facebook page was put up, but then it was quickly taken down, saying that it violated Facebook policies and procedures. Well, she's claiming that she filed this lawsuit against R. Kelly, you know, the civil lawsuit, and that in response, R. Kelly sent a letter to her, and that in the letter he was threatening her and threatening retaliation against her, that if she went forward with this lawsuit, you know, that he was going to reveal that he had like 10 men that have had sexual relationships with her, that he had all these pictures, like nude pictures of her. And so, you know, part of the strategy going on here. But I was sitting there saying, now the guy who is R. Kelly's lawyer, this Stephen Greenberg or whatever his name is, he is stating that he's been R. Kelly's lawyer for a year now. So I'm trying to understand, if R. Kelly has had a lawyer for a year, why would he be sending some document? And then I guess the document didn't have like a legal signature, because the way Gloria Allred was talking, she didn't say what the signature was, but the way she was saying it was like it was an X on a piece of paper or something, and that the document had been notarized and it was sent to the Faith Rogers girl's attorney as his official response. And in this response, he's talking about these videos. He's talking about these 10 men that if she continues with this lawsuit. And I'm just thinking like, okay, is R. Kelly really that dumb that he would do something like that? Especially when he has a lawyer on his team. Would the lawyer have even allowed that to take place? And then I don't have a law degree, so I don't know how you respond to, you know, someone filing a lawsuit against you. Like, would you write a letter and have it notarized and then take it to that person's lawyer? Or would you have your, if you were this celebrity, wouldn't you have your lawyer respond to the lawsuit? Like, that just didn't even make any sense to me. And then I'm thinking, who notarized the document? Because wouldn't the person who notarized the document be able to tell you, yeah, R. Kelly came into my office and had me notarize this document? So I don't know, it is just so crazy. And then with that fan page, I thought I had read on TMZ or whoever covered that it wasn't R. Kelly that put up that fan page, that it was that put up that Surviving the Lies Facebook page, that it was actually a fan who had put that page up. But according to Gloria Allred and this Faith Rogers lady, she's claiming that these photos that R. Kelly allegedly threatened to expose were actually put up on that website, but we don't know because it was taken down after a couple of hours. You know, by the time people found out about it, it had already been taken down. So this leads me to ask this question. So if no one can come forward and say, I'm the notary, I notarized this letter, and it was him that wrote the letter and came to me to ask that I notarize this letter, what proof is there that he actually wrote that letter and sent it in? What, unless they can trace the IP addresses for that Facebook page back to an account that he owns, or back to a area, you know, like, was it pinging off a place that he has a residence? How do you prove that he is actually the one behind all of this? Because it just seems to me that people can fabricate stories, and I don't know, it's just turning into a circus right now. And then they had the Dominique girl, remember the one where the mom had rescued her? So her mom was on the she's also part of this press conference. She was there, and I can't remember what she said, but the whole press conference was just, I was looking at Gloria Allred. I was like, first of all, she is aging. She looked tired. She was looking like, I gotta be here because I'm the champion for victims, and everybody seeks me out for these high profile cases because they know that I can get before the media and spin these cases, because the actual attorney for them was a black lady named Lydia. And so they were claiming that they were in New York because the New York Police Department reached out to them and wanted to speak to the Faith Rogers girl. But then as Gloria Allred got to talking, and the more she talked, the more it seemed like they didn't really reach out to Faith Rogers. Like, they may have said anybody with any information that wants to come forward can come forward. And then they reached out to them and they agreed to meet with them. But I don't think that the New York Police Department actually reached out to this Faith Rogers girl. And it was just the way that Gloria Allred was talking and crafting her words. And then she said that she had another client who she wasn't allowed to release their name, who has, I guess, retained her, and claims that she was underage when she met R. Kelly. But then when the reporters were asking, so is she saying that she had sex with him? Is she saying that he, you know, what are you saying? What is it about this person? And she refused to give the person's name, how old she was when she met R. Kelly, any information, because she was like, you know, the person isn't there, and I guess they haven't, it sounded to me like they hadn't fully vetted this person, and that's why she didn't want to give any information. But then my thing was, why even bring this person up if you can't reveal any information? So it was a very interesting press conference. The reporters that was in the room was drilling Gloria Allred and the Faith Rogers girl like the reporters be grilling Donald Trump when he be in the press conferences that he's having. So it just adds to the whole circus atmosphere. Then we have reports that he's been suffering from panic attacks and that he's been hospitalized. Once again, somebody, I know with HIPAA laws, you can't just be telling people business like that, but somebody somewhere should be able to verify with us that R. Kelly was actually hospitalized. What else has come out? Then we know French Montana came out with a statement, kind of like in support of R. Kelly, saying that, we should be able to just enjoy his music. He should be able to enjoy his legacy. But now, he's backpedaling on that statement, which is why people should just shut their mouths and be quiet. Kanye, I need to do some research on Kanye and this church thing he has going on, because I kind of heard tidbits of it. I thought it was like a publicity stunt, but looks like he's had another church service on yesterday, and that Kris Jenner is like streaming this live from her Instagram. So guys, I'm going to research that and get back with you on that. But basically, Kanye made a statement yesterday during this service, and I don't think he ever said R. Kelly's name, but we know he was talking about R. Kelly, and he was basically saying that you can still enjoy a person's music and have an opinion about, whatever else is going on.
But I represent that overcoming fear and still being here. Because they say you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. You'll lose your career. But I'm still here. Everybody, they want the art from the artist, but anytime they do anything erratic, they just gonna pull up full documentaries on them, and then they gonna come with the Michael documentary, then they gonna come with the we can enjoy all their music all we want. I thought I wasn't gonna go there today, but because if we gonna tear down artists, let's go ahead and take the Da Vinci's out of the Louvre while we out there. Let's take that all to art, because all of a sudden every artist is supposed to be perfect, right? Or act normal. They say you're acting crazy. Oh, that's not an act. I act normal. Right. I act. Wow. Well, y'all unpaid actors anyway. When you're 2 years old, you screaming. The whole restaurant say, teach them how to act. We overcame so much. Now we absolutely know everything is possible. Not anything, everything is possible.
Then there were protests. So people were protesting outside of R. Kelly's studio, which I thought R. Kelly was evicted from the studio, but maybe he still rolls by there every now and then. But they were protesting. Then some supporters showed up. So then the supporters and the protesters was going back and forth. They were blasting music, trying to drown out the mute R. Kelly protest chants that were going on. And then by the end of the whole saga, they had all come together to pray for one another. What else came out? RCA has stated, I haven't seen the official press release, but it was on one of the news channels that RCA has said that they will not be releasing, I think I told you guys before that R. Kelly released a new song called You Were Born to My Music, or Music You Were Born To. I liked the little song. It sounded a lot like Step in the Name of Love, the melody and everything, but not like a chart-breaking song, but it does show that he can still write music. And so he was saying that it was the first release from his upcoming album or CD or whatever. So now RCA is saying that until he's been cleared of all charges, they will not be releasing any upcoming music, and he basically has 2 more albums on his contract, and everything will be put on hold until he's cleared of everything. So they're not willing to totally break away from R. Kelly and cut ties with him totally. Seemed like there was something else, but that's all that I can really remember. Oh, and then all with that whole the website and the Facebook page and all of that, which I just couldn't believe that any legal team would be telling him that it would be okay to do that, which makes me think that it's people behind the scenes, but that's probably not even related to him. But do you guys remember back in December, I think it was, where there was supposed to have been a screening of the docuseries, and somebody called in with a gun threat or something and they had to, stop the screening? Well, supposedly there was a text message that was sent, and the phone number from this text message was traced back to somebody named Don Sullivan or something. It's somebody who works with R. Kelly, who's like one of his assistants or on his security team or something. And so he has someone on his team that has the same name as the person that sent this text message and that this phone is registered to. And once again, I'm thinking, like, are these bogus things that are happening? Like, are people trying to entrap him? Or is he really that stupid that he would be sending somebody to call, making death threats, sending text messages, and actually using a phone that's registered to their real name? So it just seems so crazy to me. Or maybe I just be overthinking things and people really are this stupid. What else? Oh, and then did you guys see the story? What's the little girl name? Girl from Wisconsin. Her parents were murdered a few months ago and she'd been missing, and she managed to escape. And I was sitting there thinking, so if this little 13-year-old girl was able to escape the person who murdered her parents in cold blood, why weren't these women able to escape R. Kelly, that claimed that they were being held hostage and, mind manipulated and everything? And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't believe them. So now let's move over to Miss Wendy Williams. So I know a lot of people don't like Wendy, but I enjoy watching Wendy's show. Haven't enjoyed it so much since her and her husband have been having all these problems. She hasn't been bringing the fire like she normally do. She's just messing up all over the place. Back in November or December, she slipped and said that, she only has like a year or two left during the show. Then it came out that her contract had been extended for 2 years. Well, Wendy was supposed to come back from Christmas break on January 7th. And if you follow her show, in the middle of December, she came in and she had her arm in a sling, but the arm was under her clothes. So now she was supposed to come back on the 7th. They're claiming that, she's still having problems and after effect and so much pain from this, and she's having all this pain from this fracture and she just needs to rest. So then she was supposed to come back today. Well, today there was no Wendy, so now they've released a statement saying that she'll be back next week. So guys, what's really going on with Wendy? Like, is it the whole situation with the husband? Because there's reports out now that the husband held a meeting with the staff where he was just like going off on them for like an hour, accusing people of releasing information. His girlfriend is supposed to be pregnant. Do you guys think that the reason Wendy is unable to come back on air is because she's just stressed out and depressed about the whole situation with Kevin and this other woman? Do you think that something is going on with Wendy, like maybe she's had a relapse with the drugs? Like, what is really going on? Because I'm thinking, if it was me and I'm in the public eye and people are already talking about this stuff, I'm going to get behind the story, or get in front of the story, I should say, and I'm just going to come clean and say, yeah, my husband is cheating, yeah, this happened, this is how I'm feeling. Like, can you imagine what her ratings boost would be if she just came on, gave a statement and say, I'm either divorcing him or I'm staying with him? I think she's making the matter worse. It's obvious that, one show before she went on winter break, she was slurring and carrying on. When Wendy passed out that day, did she really have a stroke? Like, what is really going on with Wendy Williams? And does she owe it to her fans to come clean and let us know what's really going on with her and the whole situation with Kevin? And they were saying that in the staff meeting with Kevin, where he was going off trying to figure out who's releasing information, that at no point did he tell the staff what was going on with Wendy, how Wendy was doing, when Wendy will be back for real, or any of that thing. That he was more concerned with damage control and who is spreading the rumors. And my thing is, your staff wouldn't be able to spread rumors if y'all wasn't coming in there telling the staff your business. So if you don't want the staff talking about the girlfriend, if she's pregnant or not, then maybe you shouldn't be coming in telling the staff all of those things. So I miss Wendy. I was going to come back and start back doing my Hot Topics versus Girls chat, where I compare the different views of Wendy Williams and the women from The Real and how they cover stories. But look like I can't start back doing that because Wendy hasn't come back. So let's pray for Wendy that everything is okay with her, that she's finally going to accept the fact that Kevin may not be the right person for her. And just like she tells everybody, it tells everyone else that they should leave their spouse when their spouse is cheating or whatever, or bringing them down. Maybe she should take her own advice and leave her husband and get back on her feet and be the woman that she claims that she is, the strong, invincible woman. And for those of us that continue to support her through all of this, just come clean. Like, I think that people would love and respect her more if she would just be a diva and come back and say, I might be bruised, but I'm not broken, and I'm going to survive this as well. So guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about the whole ongoing R. Kelly situation, what you think about Wendy Williams. Leave your comments below, rate the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. You can do all of that below, and until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye bye.